Hey guys, welcome to the Global Stampin' Video Hop. This month we are focusing on all things pretty paper. Who doesn't love paper? Paper is so gorgeous, and at Stampin' Up we are blessed with some of the prettiest papers ever, and I was excited when this theme came up because at the moment Stampin' Up have released a gorgeous paper that is a limited edition and goes along with a special pre-release. Actually, I'll show you this first. This is from like a special pre-release from the upcoming catalogue that releases in January. So it comes with some special dies and a stamp set. And to celebrate this pre-release, they've released some special limited edition paper. Don't mind this, I've chopped into it and you'll see why. But it has these beautiful patterns. So I'll just flick through them. So these are some of the gorgeous patterns in the paper, and they're so versatile. I absolutely love it. And this one here actually has, if I can find it, it actually coordinates with one of these dies here. So I think it's this one here. Yes, you can actually cut out one of the flowers in the paper. How cool is that? So you can actually get this paper at the moment if you are a demonstrator. So it's available to pre-order as a demonstrator, which is great because if you aren't a demonstrator already, there's a joining special at the moment. So you can actually join Stampin' Up for $169 here in Australia. And usually you would choose $235 worth of product. But at the moment you can choose, is it 280? I'm pulling this off the top of my head. It's 280 something dollars, but I'll put the info down in the link below. So you actually get 40 something dollars more than usual, and your kit is free postage. So you could actually put this whole bundle on a demonstrator starter kit purchase and get it all very cheap and early. So that's really cool at the moment. So you can get it early, but otherwise for customers it's available next month. So I thought I'd feature it, and because it's pretty paper, so that's what I thought I would feature. And because I made this fun double gatefold card. So a double gatefold card means that it opens like this. How cool is that? And you know, I have only used one stamp. So I've only used a sentiment. So this one here, which is gorgeous. The rest of it is actually paper. Oh, and a few dies. But this here is all the floral paper from the stamp. Even the inside there is all paper. So I thought that would feature the whole theme of the pretty paper theme. That was a lot of the theme words in there really well. And I've used some gilded leafing. So I really thought that'd be a fun way to feature this limited edition paper really well and talk about why you need it in your life. So yeah, this is really, really cool. So I can't remember the actual name of the paper. Fitted Florets 12x12 designer series paper. And here's all the colors that go along with it. So this is really cool that Stampin' Up do this, because I actually just turned my paper over and thought, well, I'm going to use some balmy blue. And for my base of my card, I'm going to use Night of Navy. I think I even pulled in some Evening Evergreen. So really cool they do that, because it makes color coordination really easy. So I'm actually doing a fun fold, and I'm going to talk metric measurements with you, but I hope I have penned them out okay, because I'm doing this on the fly. I actually measured them out and did this last night off a card I saw. I don't think it was even the Stampin' Up card. I just saw it online and thought that's cool. So I have pulled some supplies together. I have got an A4 sheet of Night of Navy cardstock, and I have totally lost my scoring blade off my trimmer. I have my suspicions that my dog has taken off with it, so I probably should check his toy box. But what I'm going to do is put my A4 piece of cardstock in the short side, and I'm going to cut this to the height of my card, which is 14.9 centimeters. So I want the height, and this bit you can keep for scrap. Then I need my arm out. I'm going to cut this long side down to 27. So I only need it to be 27 centimeters. So you don't need this piece. And then we're going to work on scoring. So I hope this is all in frame. So the first score that you want to do is 3 centimeters. So what I like to do is just pop it in the top there. I might scoot this along a little bit. And then I'm just going to put my bone folder in there and score. The next score is at 8.2. I seriously hope that I have got these score lines right. And then I'm going to score at 18.6. And then at 24. That looks about right to me. Okay, so tuck that away. So what we're doing now is we want to fold these ones inwards towards the card. And then this one's going to go outwards. So it's a super easy fold. So we'll repeat that. So this one's going to go inwards and that one's going to go outwards. Look at how easy that is. That forms our gatefold. So it's just, I think it should be fine. I might just see if I can squiggle that just a little bit that way. I do this all the time if mine is just a little bit off. I think that's pretty good. Okay, perfect. Okie doke. So now we need to cut some paper, which I did not write these down, but I think I can wing it okay. Because I'm totally doing this on the fly. So if these pieces I know are 3 centimeters, I want to score it probably 2 mil shy of that. So I'm going to go 2.8. And I know that the height is 14.9. So if we go 14.7, that should be good to do those flaps there. So we'll go 14.7. That's got some DSP for those ones. And then the other ones, let's just double check the measurements. If I cut them to, they look like they're 5.2. If I cut them, they actually look like they're more like 5.3. If I cut them to 5.1, I can always cut them down, can't I? Bear with me. 5.1, let's check and see what that's like. 5.1 is perfect. And then the same measurement, so 14.7. Easy peasy, Japanesey. Okay, so that's all of our DSP cut. Simple. Sometimes they're slightly off on one side, by the way, and that's okay. All I do is I've just found that one side, it depends on your score line. Sometimes they can be slightly off. I just trim a little bit down. I found this on my other card. It was just slightly off on one side, so I just trimmed it down a little. Okay, so then I'm going to start adhering. So I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal and just adhere these down. So I want to adhere this to that front flap that side, so you can see some DSP when it's folded shut. And then I'm going to add a little bit here as well, like that. We'll add some here. Hold that tight with your finger, and then we'll do this one. Oops. This card is super easy, and you get a super fun card. So there we go. That's all of our DSP done. How easy and simple was that? And then for the inside, this is cut to my normal size. So this is 9.7 by 9.7 by 14.1 by 9.9 by 14.3. So that's the standard size I do things. To make it pretty, I'm going to just pull in a blending brush and some balmy blue, because I know the balmy blue coordinates with this suite. And I'm just going to brush a little bit of my balmy blue here onto the edges. I'm being super rough with this. I tend to go way too fast when I'm filming a video. I'll be all delicate when I'm in here on my own, just listening to some music, like, you know, aka the new Taylor Swift album, which I think everyone is listening to. Probably shouldn't say that. You might be like, no, we're sick of it. Okay, so that is my prepped for my inside. And then I have gone, so for this lovely design here, the die coordinates with this flower here. That's the two little flowers there. Some of them you can fussy cut, which I have gone and done. And these ones on the edges do not waste, because I have gone ahead and cut a couple of those that are on the edges, because I'm going to add those to my card edges. So do not waste. I'm just going to go in and add them as a little bit of decoration. And then I have got my little layer of evening evergreen here. And then I can add, I'm going to run out of Stampin' Seal, I bet. Don't mind me. Okay, then I'm going to add this just to the inside of my card. And then I'm going to spritz some Wink of Stella in there, just for some sparkle, which I think I need to refill the barrel. A bit of sparkle. So that is the base of the card done. Now you may see that I've got a pretty frame here, which I have die cut from the coordinating dies. So I have used this pretty one here. So I've die cut this twice, and I've die cut it out of soft succulent and out of whisper white. The reason for that is because it will cut it'll cut like this. It'll cut as two pieces. So I actually wanted the inside to be white and the outside to be soft succulent. Well, the outside here is soft succulent, but I've actually added some liquid glue, which I've let dry, so that's why it's sticking to my finger. Now, I didn't add liquid glue around the whole thing. I don't know if you can see this, but I've just added little blobs around the edges. So all you need is your Tombow Mono adhesive. Just add little blobs of glue and let it dry. So I did that beforehand because it takes a while. I'm bringing in one of my favorite products, and that is gilded leafing. What I like to do is just drop it in there, give it a tap to get all that covered, and look at this. It looks messy, but it's not too bad. Then I've cut a sponge into a quarter, and I'm just going to slowly rub off that excess. So you just want to be sort of gentle with your frame and just keep going around and just rub off all that excess back into the tub. So gilded leafing does not come like this. It comes in a little jar, but the easiest way is just to tip it into a bigger tub, because it will like expand. So the jar it comes in is a smaller jar, and when you let it out, it does expand quite a bit. So it's easier to let it into a bigger tub to work with it. So I just want to make sure all that excess is rubbed off. And then you get left with this really pretty frame, because I really wanted the eyes to gravitate towards that frame. So now I'm going to put the lid back on, because this will move everywhere. So I want to put that away. And now I can prep the inside of my frame. So the inside of my frame, I'm going to pull back in my blending brush, and I'm not going to re-ink it because there's probably enough of that balmy blue left on there, and I want it to be really light. So I'm just adding a little bit of blue around those edges. Like that. You can barely see it, but it's there. Now I'm going to pull in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink and this beautiful sentiment that says, "Thank you with all my heart." I'm just going to ink that up in some black, and I want to stamp that more towards the right hand side in the top because I am going to cluster some flowers. So just give that a stamp. And that is literally the only stamping on the card. Now, I want to start assembling. So I'm going to work out, that's going to go about there, but I know that I'm going to pop this flower arrangement in. I actually want to stick that one first. So I'm going to apply just a little bit of adhesive because I want that to go underneath that frame. So I've stuck a little bit of seal so that one will stick. I just realized I stuck that a little bit where I didn't want it because you can't stick any adhesive coming out off here. So I'm just going to peel that back. Your fingers are really good for rubbing adhesive off. I find that I can rub it back. So I just want that one to be stuck about there because the frame's, it's sort of going to poke up behind that frame. Now I only want the adhesive from the frame to be on that little section. So I know if I put it about there, it's going to be all good because I want it to be sort of centered like that. So there, I've only got adhesive there. Now I found it easiest because you don't want to add adhesive here because that will stop your card from opening. I found it easiest to go around with some liquid glue just to the edges here and lay the frame right over the top, and that will only then adhere to those bits that need the adhesive. So just sit that there for just a tick. Then we've got our next bits ready. I have cut out a different flower, haven't trialed it, so let's hope it works. I think it should be fine. There's a couple ways I could have it. You could cut out a whole heap of these flowers and do all different ones. I generally try and not stick too much off the side, otherwise you can have problems with envelopes. Okay, so I think I'm good. So that'll just keep adhering for a minute. Now I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Stick that on, and I keep losing my take your pick tool, but these take your pick tools are great for pulling these off. And I'm just going to pop that in where I think I'd like it. And this one I'm actually going to stick up on some dimensionals. So oh, I've already got a sheet of dimensions out. This is what happens. I start a million sheets of these things and wonder why I've got 10 on the go. So I'll just pull the backings off. And then I can decide if I want it this way. I don't want to cover up the words, so that's decision time. I think I like it like that actually, so I'm not covering up words. Okay, so then it comes into clustering. So what I want to do is add some leaves. So I know I want one here, so I can come in with another glue dot, just peel that off and stick that in. So these are all cut with the brushed metallic cardstock, which is the gold brush metallic, and they're using the coordinating dies from the framed, see, from the framed florets dies, and I'm just tucking them in to make a bit of a cluster. And I've cut a couple of these foliage pieces from the DSP. So I'm just bulking it out a little bit and adding a few more bits and pieces to my little cluster. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's add some, oh, I missed a step. On the inside, I added some spritzing with a Tahitian tide marker. So I just added some little bits of blue to the inside, just for a bit of extra something. And then, what was I doing? Oh, adding some Wink of Stella. So I'm going to add some sparkle just to the outside of my card. And then to embellish, I am going to add some of these, which are the adhesive backed seasonal sequins, because I really liked the gold, although like, I think that's supposed to be red. That would look okay, but, or there's even the white. The white would look nice as well. But I do like the gold because it goes with the gilded leafing. I did add this one into the center of a flower, but there is no flower center on this one. So I think I might just stick with adding them around the card. So I generally like to work in uneven numbers. So I either tend to go 3 or 5, which obviously I'm adding another one. So it looks like it's 5 on this card. We're going all out. Where will I go with this one? I think maybe there. Okay. I'll move these. So that is that card done, and you saw how quick and simple that was. It's a really super easy, fun fold that really shows off designer series paper. So you could do this with a heap of different designer series paper. You don't have to have this as an oval, so you can see that from the back. You don't have to have that as an oval. You could have that as a square or a circle. You could do all kinds of different shapes there. You could do a love heart. Really cool, simple, quick and easy design. If you're not doing it metric, all you have to do is have this centerpiece as the standard size of a card, and then measure out how this one's going to be. So this bit here is, that panel there has got to be half the size of this bit. So you measure out what this is. So in metric, that's 10.5. So that'll be 5.25. And then I wanted 3 centimeters for my flap. So I let my score lines be 3 centimeters. So I knew that I got to do 3, 5.25, 10.5, 5.25, 3. So that's how I worked out my gatefold centimeters. So that's simple as that. So really fun. I hope you enjoyed this quick and simple gatefold, and using some pretty paper and how to show off your designer series paper using this brand new bundle that you'll be able to purchase in November. Or if you're in Australia, you can join my team at the moment and add it to a starter kit and get those extra goodies that end at the end of this month. So be sure to check out the links below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you back soon. Bye.